Hello, I'm Cara Sevens and welcome to Sign 7 News, bringing you the latest stories from the last week in the sign and wide format print industries. This week, on the right track with Global and TfL, Bill's signage refused by Conservation Committee, Make It Happen educates the industry, and Signs Express celebrates its franchises. First, Global Media and Entertainment has announced a series of new advertising sites along the new Elizabeth train line in London, which launched this week. The new sites will mark the largest launch of digital advertising assets at one time, with 329 new state-of-the-art advertising sites estimated to be seen by over 170 million passengers a year by 2026. Next, an application for new signage at a Bill's restaurant in Reading has been rejected by the Reading Conservation Area Advisory Committee. Based opposite a Grade 1 listed church and graveyard, the committee had to be consulted about the proposed makeover. When citing its reasons for the rejection, the committee said the signage may appear garish and obtrusive. Now, with over 21 years' experience in the industry, Sam Armstrong successfully runs Make It Happen workshops for employees of different levels and experience in the signage industry. Teaching individuals and companies about customer relationships, materials, and everyday challenges, we hear from Armstrong about how her company has evolved and also sprung back after the pandemic.
15 years of trade manufacturing, I heard the same questions day in, day out, and I thought, why is nobody helping people, supporting people, answering these questions? People talk about a standard size sign. Well, in bespoke manufacturing, there isn't a standard sign. So 6 years ago, I handed in my notice on my previous employment and said, right, I'm going to go off, set off with the aim of doing training. Now, how do you qualify to be a trainer? I don't know. But I think having energy, enthusiasm, passion for the industry, and actually a really good amount of good relationships out there and a good reputation really helped us. So when we started doing them, we got an abundance of people that wanted to come on the course and see what I was doing next. So that was really refreshing. It's almost we were answering something that wasn't being asked for, but we've sort of done it beforehand. So right now, we're still really fortunate that nobody's doing what we're doing. So during COVID, people were saying, well, Sam, put your course online. You can't put this course online. The whole idea is you're feeling the products, you're touching it, you're talking to other sign companies. So actually it takes it away from just being in your office, in that environment, actually gives you a whole new perspective. I again think why it's important to actually get out of your environment and go to somewhere else. So I think my fear factor initially was different people from different companies would come on the programme and they might put the barriers up and be scribbling notes and not wanting to actually talk about stuff. We don't talk about people's margins or anything like that. It's not necessary for me to do so, but it's actually been the polar opposite. Some people have actually connected with on the programmes, have gone away from the day and actually supported each other. So I've had somebody up in Manchester and then somebody down in Cardiff, and they've actually done an install for each other or printed something. So actually some really lovely extra relationships have come off the back of it. I remember on Frontline, back end of last year, us all stood outside, a group of 8 of us, all different companies, and that one of the feedback there and then was, it's been amazing just having an opportunity to speak to lots of different size companies throughout the day, and they've stayed in contact with each other. I think the biggest thing in terms of if I could focus on training, sometimes people's reluctance to spend money on training, yet the return of investment that you get for actually enthusing your workforce, educating them and giving them the tools to do their job is so important. Do I think you'll get a return of investment? I'm absolutely 100% sure you would get a return of investment. I don't want people to come on the course that aren't interested in being here, but for me, don't lose sight that somebody 5, 10, 15, 26 years in the industry, 30 years, is not going to benefit from training, they are going to benefit from training. It's not just for new starters. It really isn't. I can't emphasise that enough. So it's understanding your value. So I can't say it enough. Training is so important. It really is.
And finally, Signs Express recently hosted its annual Sign Awards, celebrating the success of its franchises. Members, suppliers and the Franchise Support Centre all attended the gala dinner and awards ceremony in Birmingham. The ceremony was a chance to reunite the franchisees and saw awards like the Best Interior Sign, Employee of the Year and Franchisee of the Year handed out. That's all for this week's Sign 7 news, but for now you can stay up to date with all the news in the industry at signlink.co.uk, view much more video content over on our Sign 7 News YouTube channel, or join in with the conversation on Twitter and LinkedIn. We'll see you next week.